Retweets.
Oh, shit. I don't have Discord.
Hello, Discord. Why am I not seeing the tweet?
I'm not seeing it either. Are we not live?
Well, it posted in Discord.
Oh. Well, what does Discord know?
303. Yeah, it posted 38 seconds ago.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
Buttery.
Hey,
Woods, Joe, Roger, welcome all to Joe. Double duty here, Discord and YouTube. All right. I'm gonna fire off some music and jump into the show, or wait. We gotta do Zencaster first. Zencaster, I need to check things. Why do you keep logging me out, Zencaster? Why do you not like me?
Because Zencaster hates you.
Okay, PHPUgly. Let's go. Oh, I forgot. I gotta do.
Oop. I gotta do what?
I gotta do Zencaster and Firefox. I mean, I don't have to. I just don't know when it's gonna start working again.
Facebook didn't expand my my YouTube link. Not that anybody ever watches this because of that, but
you don't know. You're that one person.
Yeah. Hey, mute when you do that.
You like mute all show long, and then you just like torture us. Before you can start the music.
1, 2, 1, 2. Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know, Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John. You know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up. Yeah. Come on. Hey.
From the Pacific to the Rocky Mountains and around the world, you're listening to episode 303 of the PHPUgly podcast, a weekly podcast brought to you by 3 real-life, everyday PHP developers. We make our living coding, and we love it. I am your host, Eric Van Johnson. And before I introduce the others, I forgot my whole spiel, man. I was so excited about the whole beginning, I forgot about it. around the world thanks to our Discord channel. People are listening to us at this moment live and participating in the show through our Discord at discord.phpugly.com. You really should think about joining the party. Discord runs all week long. People are in there chatting all week long. Great conversations going on in there. Also, we have to thank our Patreons who support us, our Patreons who support us on Patreon. One of these days, I'm going to get that right. It's all that really make us come here every week and do this, and we're not even mad about it. Also, we'd like to thank our sponsors, honeybadger.io and Cloudways. We're going to talk about all of them a little later in the show, but for right now, let me introduce the rest of the crew. To my right, our top, or whatever, John Condon.
Somewhere in that video screen you got looking at right now, that you are looking at right now. You got looking at? I can't see.
And Tom Rideout.
Hello.
Hello, gentlemen. I am actually talking to you on a real computer again. I got my internet back. I'm not on an iPad.
Much faster than you thought you were going to get it back, which is
much faster.
Good news.
Oh, and what was crazy, I told Discord about this. I'll share it in the show. Last week, my internet had completely went out on me, and I have fiber to the house, and it had been so reliable up until that moment, and it just totally just went out on me. So there was this big to do, right? The internet provider said that they wouldn't be able to get out for a couple weeks, and blah blah blah. I ended up podcasting on my iPad using 5G. I thought it actually worked out pretty well. The quality, my mic quality was horrible. That was a horrible one, but the problem ended up being not even at my house. It ended up being at like the main switch of the neighborhood. I guess some other technician came out and moved my line and had put me in the wrong port. Either had taken my line out, and when he went to put it back in, he put it in at the wrong port, or he thought my line had to move and moved my line to either way. The technician came out the next day. This was Friday, so they came out the day after the show, and he comes out. He plugs in to the fiber in my garage. He goes, huh? He says, I'll be right back. And gets in his car and drives away. I'm like, hello?
He doesn't tell you where he's going.
Doesn't tell me where he's going. Doesn't tell me how long he's going to be gone for. I have a pretty good understanding he's coming back because he left this little like Terminator in my, on that fiber line. And then, it wasn't quick either. Like 15 minutes later or 20 minutes later, he comes pulling up. He goes, yeah, you're all good. I'm like, okay, how? And he's like, yeah, no, it was this. And I'm like, well, that's great. So yeah, I'm back online, back on my fiber, back on my good mic, for better or for worse. And I'm very
for
happy.
Better, for much better, for sure.
Yeah,
I was walking around Ace Hardware, I think yesterday, saw a guy in a Harry Mack shirt, and I stopped him. I was like, I love that guy, and just had this conversation with him and told him how we actually had Harry Mack write us a freestyle for the show, and he was like, oh, that's really cool. And it was just a good little back and forth. It was just
that's pretty
funny
awesome.
finding Harry Mack fans out in the world. Out in the wild.
Tom, you're being very quiet.
Yeah, I haven't left my house all week.
Well, it's not unusual.
That's pretty par for course.
Yeah, I've got Uber Eats packaging all over the place on the floor, and my cats are just passed out on the bed and ready for me to come lay down with them. And it has been a tough week.
All right, is your wife out of town?
No.
The way you led into that made it sound like that. Yeah, my wife's
No.
so I'm not leaving.
No, started working this week, and it has been very cool. Very happy about it. but it is a lot of work. The onboarding process is very well laid out and organized, and I'm very happy with it. But it is a lot.
I could understand that. Starting at a new place anywhere, getting into a new code base is always challenging.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how previous developers did things, or even the current developers, is always a challenge.
Yeah, but so far it's been great. So far, I'm having a great time and doing a little bit of Team Rocket League, which has been nice.
As part of the job, like, hey, let's all get in and play.
It's like a team building exercise. I'm not putting it down on my time card or anything, but get together with other developers and score some goals.
Are they all impressed with your rocket ability?
Very much. I am impressive.
Not lately when you've been playing with me, Mr.
Yeah, broken controller. Just got my my Xbox Elite Series 2 controller today, so now I'm back in the game.
Gotcha. Eric, how's your week been? Can't hear you at all.
I'm fine. They had Laracon online, so I have like a crap load of Laravel stuff I want to talk about. I was going to try to be polite and let you guys talk through your stuff before I got to it. What about you, John?
That. It's just been a week. I'm continuing to build out some of the PHP architect tools that we use, and like made a new focus on needing to get some of these things done, just for my own peace of mind, my own sanity, getting things a lot smoother just in my day-to-day stuff I need to do. We got this month's magazine out finally. It wasn't as late as I thought it was going to be, which is fantastic. And then hoping next month's is that much better as we continue working through, like, my wife taking over the editing / laying out of the magazine and getting over that learning curve. So far so good. We're getting there.
Cool. Tom, what you never replied. I posted it in Discord. What are you being blamed for now? I couldn't follow what you're being blamed for.
I'm not entirely sure. I got called out on Twitter for being wrong about Apple.
Yeah, that's what was so confusing. It sounded like they were talking about your Laravel post, but then kept referring to Apple.
Yeah, I'm not really following. I mean, I catch blame for stuff on such a regular basis that I've got like a wall built around my self-esteem for it. So it really didn't bother me at all to be blamed for something.
Well, and to your benefit or whatever, they do say I love Real Rideout, so they are a fan.
I missed this completely. I have no clue what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's a tweet out there.
Discord. I'll post it in Discord.
Somebody who apparently saw my post about the Laravel Semver stuff, and also doesn't like my take on Mack stuff.
What your Mack stuff has been all over the place.
You've been the Mack fanboy here last year or so.
That's what I mean. I have been, and but I'm being told I'm always wrong about Apple. So I somehow was wrong when I hated Apple, and now that I've converted to love the MacBook, I'm wrong about it as well.
And what's funny is you're wrong for the same reasons. They're like, you don't have to upgrade immediately, which was the same argument they had on the Laravel posts.
Right. I'm having trouble tracking exactly what I'm wrong about, which isn't out of the ordinary either.
Mm-hmm.
I am so frequently wrong that it is hard to keep track.
It really is.
But once again,
for us too.
Don't care. Just I don't. That's the thing about being wrong all the time is eventually you just stop caring that you're wrong. And
You almost embrace it.
yeah. Well, it's like that theory on the internet is that to get the correct answer fastest, you give a incorrect statement.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's
So
a fact.
I mean, I am sometimes wrong on purpose to prove a point or to get the correct answer. I can understand how that would be confusing. Also, don't care.
So this tweet was a combination of Mack and
Laravel
Laravel?
criticism. Yeah.
at the same time.
Well, not the tweet necessarily. I that's what I don't follow. It sounded like they were talking about the Laravel post in the tweet, but they kept referencing Apple and Apple products.
Right.
Oh,
So
because
it was
because
very
we're saying
confusing.
because it was almost like if you want to stay up with Laravel, you have to upgrade right away, but you don't need to with the Mac.
Well, and
don't
I didn't
It's all
say you have to
confusing.
upgrade right away. I just said that security support for old versions is non-existent now that LTS is dead. So you do have to upgrade, which is a problem because now Taylor is trolling me and has stated that 10 could be released without any backwards breaking changes, to which I responded, 10 is a backwards breaking change. The number 10 would break backwards compatibility with every library out there unless you just do what I do and support 1 through 100. And then when someone says it doesn't work, go and fix it. It's called future proofing.
Well, it's future proofing / not future proofing when you break something.
Sure. So yeah, I mean,
doesn't really work.
once again, I'm wrong. It was interesting to get. I don't often get directly added in tweets. I don't tweet a whole lot, so it was interesting for my phone to pop up while I was having a nice family dinner and just tell me I was wrong again.
But you start reading like, honey, somebody loves me. Oh shit.
That is literally what happened. Is I thought, oh, some praise, nice. I like. Oh, god damn it! It's not praise again. Yeah,
It's a thankless job this podcasting is, I tell you.
I do appreciate that PHPUgly itself was not blamed for my indiscretions. It wasn't like PHPUgly is always wrong or like PHPUgly's got their head up their asses. It's just at PHPUgly, consider firing Tom because he is so frequently wrong. You might want to remove him from the staff.
We do appreciate you prefacing the entire post by saying these are my opinions and my opinions alone. They do not reflect anything to do with PHP Architect or PHPUgly in any way.
Considering doing that just at the beginning of the show instead of Eric's intros. Just taking over the intro, just saying, hi, my name's Tom. I am a liar. That's what I do. And it in no way represents any of the other people on the show I will lie to.
At least you keep it entertaining. That's
yeah. Do you ever have that reoccurring dream where the devil calls you a devil's advocate?
Nope.
Just oh god, it's so annoying. You're always devil's advocate.
You don't have to speak on my behalf, damn it.
I have a quick question for you guys. I want to jump right into this because I have so much stuff here. But the one thing that has been hurting the back of my head all day. Do you guys use Figma for like layout and design stuff?
No, we tried.
I don't. One of the developers of one of our clients does a lot.
It's like as a tool.
He loves it.
As a tool, as a company that produces this one tool, which is UX, UI stuff, layouts and graphing and that kind of like, what do you think the company is worth?
17 billion?
I have no clue. I would be shocked if you told me more than a couple million.
Yeah, me too. Adobe just bought it.
Everything's $1 billion. Oh, Adobe bought it?
Adobe just bought Figma.
I would say at least $10 billion. Like everything's $1 billion now. Nobody's under $1 billion anymore.
$20 billion.
Oh, I almost had it. I said 17 the first time.
But you were joking.
I was.
And it was still more than that. It's $20 billion.
I don't think anyone knows what $1 billion really is worth.
It's not worth it. It's not worth a UI design interface.
So this is what always gets me. Like, what is their revenue stream?
We've gone over this so many times, and every time I've had an answer for you, I have no answers for you on this one. I cannot possibly give you a reason why this is worth $20 billion. I can't. It makes no sense on any scale that I understand. And I mean, like, if I had a company that was like Figma that was worth $20 billion, I would just take that and like go to all the people who develop open source and be like, I'm sorry that you've got underappreciated for so long. Here's the money. Like, give everyone $1 million and then have an extra 15 billion left over. Like, it's that $20 billion is insane.
I'm telling you, we need to start positioning PHP Architect as like this important thing of PHP and just get like.
But it is an important thing of PHP.
Get Microsoft to give us $1 billion for it.
It doesn't make. I mean, it really like it makes me wonder how do you do this? How do you create a product that is as essentially as simple as what Figma is, and have it be worth more than $10 million?
But it's not that simple. I mean, it's a big application. I do want to know how many users they have, how many people are actually paying for it. But I like I said, one of our clients uses it, and I'm sure they pay good money for it.
I saw something about their annual income, and it was like 400 million for this year.
That's my point. Even at 400 million, they paid 20 billion. It just doesn't make sense to me. Even if they can make 400 million year over year for the next 10 years, 20 years, they're still not going to recoup what they paid for it. It's nuts.
Well, and it was okay. So the 2022 revenue is $81 million.
Okay. Still well below $1 billion.
Yeah. Like way below.
Yeah.
There's got to be something going on with the valuations where they want to go public with 20 billion, but it's the Figma doesn't actually get anywhere near that amount of money. Right? Am I missing something? Like, there's no way $20 billion is changing hands.
Okay, I've got another website that says that their 2022 revenue is 340 million. So,
but even still,
over the last year, that's more than
a
triple.
Figma organization plan is $45 a month
per editor. So I think you're allowed to have people that can go in there and view your designs. Mm-hmm. But as long as you can't edit it, you're not paying for it. You're only paying for the people that can access the design.
So $45 a month for people who use the tool. That's the organizational level. That's the highest. Well, there's an enterprise tier too. Enterprise tier is $75 a month, right? So how many freaking? You said over 300 million in revenue.
Yeah.
How many subscribers do they have? That's some crazy math there.
If they had 27 million subscribers. No, I'm sorry, that number's wrong. Let's divide it one more. If they have 2 million subscribers, then they make that back in a year. If the plan is is to make that back over 10 years, they would need 222,000 subscribers. That's still a lot, and that's all at the enterprise level.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't get it. B, I hate it. I hate them for doing this to me personally, because I don't have $1 billion. I just want $1 million. That's all I want.
Mm-hmm.
Just give me $1 million. I'll leave everyone alone. You'll never have to hear me be wrong again. Podcast over. We succeeded.
$1 million split 3 ways isn't that much money.
Why would I split the $1 million 3 ways?
Podcast over?
No, for me.
Okay.
You guys can go on until you get your $1 million, but no one's telling you you're wrong and offering to pay you off to just leave them alone.
Yeah,
is that what I need to do? Is just be wrong?
That would be our luck too, John. Like as much as we hustle, as hard as we try to, contribute to the community and be good stewards of the community, Tom will be the one who ends up with that $1 million buyout or some shit.
Yeah. No, that's the goal.
Yeah, I think that's everyone's goal.
You realize $1 million won't last you that long.
I plan on dying very young. If I got $1 million, that knocks it down even further. Yeah. He drowned in luxury whiskey. I don't know why he filled a pool with luxury whiskey, but that's where we found him.
The whole point of having more money is to live longer. You can afford better care.
No.
Yeah.
Tom's like, that's not what my Coke dealer says.
Yeah. Until I can buy a new liver, it's just for stuff that ruins my liver. Speaking of which, day 15, still drinking soda.
I'm impressed. Well, not that soda's that good for you, but I'm impressed that you've gone 15 days without alcohol.
Without
alcohol. I'm not sure I believe you. You've been known to tell a fib here and there, so
well, that's true.
You just admitted it yourself.
On this, I am not lying, but my friend and I have decided that the wives have accomplished what they set out to accomplish, and we feel the sense of self-control that we were aiming to feel. That's my life is not ruled by liquor, so I believe that tomorrow is the end of the month. And
don't say that. We don't have the magazine done yet.
It's the end of his month.
Yes, I have accomplished what I set out to do, which is not fail on the first week.
No, you not drink for the entire month was what the goal was.
So if you don't make the month, you've failed.
When a person sets a goal, they're really setting 2 goals. They're setting a public goal and a personal goal. I have met my personal goal. I'm very pleased with it. So I'm afraid that the public goal might have to take the L on this one.
You should do it the other way next time. Your public goal is less than the private goal, so that you succeed in the public's eyes. That's the way I always do it. When I have a goal, I tell my wife what my lower goal is, even though I want the higher goal. That way, she thinks better of me.
That is a surefire way to disappoint your wife. See, my way. Oh no.
I would have told my wife, I'm going to go a week without drinking. I want to go a month, but I'm going to go a week. I made it 2. She's like, wow, you made it 2 weeks. And I'm like,
all right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to explain to my wife that there was a misunderstanding.
No, you just get her hammered first. There you go.
That'll be tough.
Is she going the full month?
Yeah. It's
then you should too.
Group of 5 of us.
You can do it.
I think I can talk her out of it.
Instead of standing up like, yeah, I should back her and support her through this. Nah, I'm gonna tear
do you
down
know
her.
how
tear her
long
down.
this month has been?
15 days so far.
It feels like it's been 30.
Well, that's what happens when all your columnists don't get their articles in on time. Wait, what, are we talking about something else? Sorry, I'm not calling anybody out, Joe. You're fine.
Oh boy. You know what I could go for a tall glass of right now?
What's that?
Let me guess.
Badger.
Honey Badger transforms you into a DevOps hero by combining error, uptime, and cron monitoring into a single, easy-to-use platform. Stop wasting your time tailing logs and deploy with Swagger. Visit honeybadger.io today to level up.
2618.
Thank you,
Thank
Honey
you,
Badger.
Thank you, Honey
Badger.
Badger. Now I got to find out if there's a Honey Badger beer.
There is.
I was gonna say, I'm sure there is.
There's
Oh, Bear-
100% a Honey Badger.
Bare Hands Brewery, 9.5% double IPA.
I'm drinking a 9% Imperial IPA right now.
Go ahead and rub it in. Thanks.
I'm drinking a Scotch right now.
I'm
That's a little
drinking-
higher than 9%, just so you know.
Drinking a Carl's Jr. Diet Coke.
My new, we had a new Costco open by the house, and I went in and sent my wife a picture. They had like an entire stack of my Lagavulin in there.
Did you buy a whole pallet?
I could have. They had a couple pallets there, but I haven't sold my company for $1 billion yet, so I can't fill up my pool with it quite yet.
Coming soon. Pool with
John,
Lagavulin.
You
Sure.
you have been doing some fun coding stuff that you haven't shared with the group.
I have.
I was gonna say I doubt that.
Yeah, I don't do anything fun.
No,
What part are you talking about?
I'm
which
talking
one?
about PHP architect stuff.
We just talked about it 10 minutes ago.
Did we talk about that 10 minutes ago?
We did.
Was that low bar you were talking about with your wife?
No.
No.
No, I just said I've been doing a lot of coding to make my life a little bit better with some of the stuff at PHP Architect.
PHP architect is so John and I think I shared this with you, John. We officially purchased PHP architect on 9/9 of last year.
So we're 1 year in.
So we have actually owned it for a year, which really means that the clock is ticking on the things that we can blame on Oscar. That's really running out on us.
But it's still ticking? I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, we got time. Yeah, we got.
Okay.
Hell, I still blame things in our client's code base on the first developer that quit. That guy's
That's
gonna
true.
be taking that bullet for a long time. But yeah, we got some fun stuff.
Yeah, so I've been building some tools around kind of automating a lot of the manual tasks that have been going on, dealing with the APIs that I haven't dealt with before. So we use Notion .so. Is that what it is? Notion.so.
Yeah.
For a lot of article management. So interacting with their API, which is not fun at all. Oh my God, it's annoying. And then Eric and I were talking today, and I was telling him some of the tasks I do with our accounting software. And at the end of every month, I go in and I have to create, like, okay, we got to pay all of these people for the articles they submit. Speaking of which, if you want to write for the magazine, you do not have to be a professional writer. You just have to want to share something, write for the magazine, and we pay you for your words
Handsomely.
It's interesting how that works. Anyway, and we work with you, so don't be afraid. If you have anything you want to write about, you don't have to be a professional. You just have to want to share information. You could be wanting to learn about a topic, use that as an excuse to write an article for the magazine, and let us give you some money for you to learn.
If you're in between jobs, take that time to do some writing, like Tom did. Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind. Move on to John. I'm sorry.
I did some writing. I was roundly rejected, and we'll never write again.
Your writing was not for us. Anyway, so as Eric and I were talking, I'm like, I really wish I could interact with our accounting software so I could automate this task, because we have the list of articles that we're going to write or that are going into this issue. I would like to be able to create basically the bills to pay automatically in the accounting software. And I could have sworn I had looked recently and there wasn't an API. Today I looked, hey, look, there's an API. And I'm already starting to interact with it a little bit. I took a bunch of notes before the show of, I got to do this and got to do that, and things I got to figure out.
We have several people
exciting.
in our Discord who are contributors to the PHP Architect magazine, either regular columnists or feature article contributors. So yeah, do it, man. I really encourage people to do it.
I'm waiting for Buttery to write for us.
Buttery for sure.
He needs to get some of the Patreon money back.
I need Ralph to write for us, man. Ralph was I always enjoyed Ralph's presentations. He presented once or twice for us in San Diego, and I really like him. I'd like to get him to write for us.
Anybody that's listening to us right now, write for us.
You know, I have a little story here, a little vindication for myself, a little Tom's always wrong proof that I'm not always
proving
wrong.
that you're. Oh, I thought you were proving we're always wrong.
We have discussed microwaves in the past.
Well, I love where this is going.
And
I actually have something to contribute to that, by the way. But go ahead.
It's a long running story with us that your microwave is watching you, that the radio waves emitted from a microwave can be used to calculate the layout of your house and things like that. And I was roundly mocked for this idea.
You weren't mocked. It was embedded into our old logo. You were memorialized for it.
Yeah, in a mocking way.
It wasn't a mocking way. It was a.
It kind of was.
It was a little bit.
It was.
Well, the new Intel CPU supports a feature that will turn your computer on when you sit down in front of it.
Well, yeah, my Google Hub does it as well. Matter of fact, my Google Hub, I have a setting on my Google Hub where instead of telling Google to start listening to me, if I turn and look at it, it will start listening to me.
Is it using a camera?
Mm-hmm.
This is using Wi-Fi. It uses the Wi-Fi to detect that you have sat down in front of your computer.
I don't follow.
Almost like the radiation of a microwave. It's
almost exactly like the radiation of a microwave.
Using radio waves versus a camera.
The technology is called Wi-Fi proximity sensing, and it is included as part of the Intel's 13th gen CPUs. There is a small operating system side component, but besides that, it is all in the hardware of your new CPU and your standard Wi-Fi interface. And
can I contribute?
Uses radio waves.
So you're acting like this is a big deal. I'm going to tell you why it's not, because this happened to me, and I thought of you immediately, Tom. I got I got one of those Roombas, iRobot sweeping things, and after it ran for about a week or two, I got a little notification on my phone that said, "Hey, we've mapped out your house now."
Well, yeah.
Would you like it to tell us where to start to focus?
That uses LiDAR, though. That uses that uses all sorts of non-radio based technology.
It's still
Also,
mapping
you
in
heard
my house.
you heard the problem with Amazon trying to buy Roomba, right?
No.
Is that people are super freaked out that Amazon wants to buy Roomba because it gives Amazon access to the layout of every house that Roombas run in, so they can sell it as like realty data.
Amazon doesn't do that when Roomba can do it themselves.
But Roomba doesn't sell that
it's,
data.
But it's all public information anyway. What are you talking about?
It's not public. The layout of your home.
Yeah.
You can go. Yeah, you can go
to Zillow.com and look up your house.
Yeah. All the sales information, your square footage, all that stuff's public information.
No.
I know it was in Florida. I'm pretty sure it is in California. I don't know about the rest of the country, but I could go to the registrar or some website and find all that information. Because you do that when you're trying to sell your house. You want to see what's being sold in your area. When you buy a house, you can look back and see what it sold for in the past.
Well,
Who
sure.
the previous owners were. Yeah. All the permits you have to pull to get stuff done. It's always updating that information. Yep, nobody's freaked out about Amazon buying
Amazon's
Roomba.
evil. The end.
Because they could pull your information off of a public resource and sell your information.
They don't know where my couch is.
My Roomba knows where my couches are.
Yeah, absolutely. Amazon doesn't. I don't
care if
want
they
them to
do.
know.
I
don't
don't
want
care
them to
if they know. Why does that matter? But yeah, I mean,
Amazon's
I'm not looking to give up my privacy. I understand the whole getting complacent with your privacy sort of thing. I'll give up some privacy for convenience, and then that grows and grows. I get all that, but I don't think Amazon cares about where I put my couch.
That's
all
where
right,
you're wrong.
I've been patient. We have been talking about PHP stuff. So if we don't have PHP stuff to talk, I'm going to talk about Laracon.
Don't go to Laracon.
I'm going to Laracon.
How was your event sourcing week?
I've had
a full event sourcing week myself. That's PHP.
So I was personally attacked during Laracon, as a matter of fact. Now that you bring that up.
That's not event sourcing.
Okay, now I'm interested.
It was event sourcing, John. Matt Stauffer from Titan did a talk and specifically said things like the repository pattern, microservices, and event sourcing, which are all three things I've talked about me working on this show over the past couple of years. He's like, yeah, don't do those. Don't overcomplicate things. Don't do that stuff. Don't, you have to need to do that to do those sort of things. I'm like, what? Why do you pick those three things? Like the three things that like I promoted and talked a lot about on the show, especially the repository. I still don't understand why everybody doesn't use the repository pattern. It's like, why don't you use that? Put all your database shit in its own location. Don't put it in your controller. Definitely don't put it in your model.
I was already in your model in Laravel?
Yeah, it is.
No, not things like selects and stuff like that.
Repository pattern makes a lot more sense for data mappers.
Repository pattern makes sense for everything in my book. Like I was
listening to Matt Stauffer recently, and he said it wasn't.
Yeah.
So when this came through discord.phpugly.com, somebody said that the next thing that they were surprised he didn't talk about event sourcing. Did he really bring that up?
He brought it up. It was like right after somebody in Discord, kind of said, "Hey, Eric, Matt's calling you out or something. I forget. And I like listen. I'm like, oh damn, I feel personally attacked. And then it's like, yeah, next thing I think I said it. I'm like, next thing you know, he's gonna say, don't do event sourcing. And like 15 minutes later, that's what he says.
You sure this was an attack and not just advice? He's a nice guy. I've talked to him before. Doesn't seem like the kind that would just
he's
outright
not that nice.
attack you.
Not that nice of a guy when he poached one of our employees.
He did poach one of our employees. Well, that employee kind of poached themselves.
Sure.
That's a whole nother thing. But yeah, man. Yeah. And the thing is, I don't want to say he's wrong with event sourcing, but now I kind of feel like I need to defend it. I am definitely not sold on we should be event sourcing everything. I see a very niche market for event sourcing.
You don't do enough customer service crap. There's so many times where I get hit from customer service saying, hey, blah, 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 whatever their request is or their concern is or something is broken. And it's like, if this thing was only event sourced and I could have the information I need to figure out what had happened, but I can't because I don't have that information. It's so annoying. I'm in the process of converting, it's kind of a simplistic form that has a lot of fields post to a controller right now and does the controller is huge, does way too much work. I'm in the process of event sourcing that. And I got it to a point now where it takes all of the data from the form, puts it into a crap ton of value objects, and event sources it. I'm at the point now where all I now need to do is take all that data and do everything else the controller does, which is communicate basically with Twilio. And I'm done. So it's one of those, once you get the pattern of event sourcing, the commands and events, and kind of get that flow of how things are going, it's so much easier. It's that learning curve. You get past that.
No, it's never easier. I disagree with the easier comment.
You're 2 months, 3 months, 4 months into it.
There's no way this is. It will become easier than I'm used to doing event sourcing now, but it'll never become easier than like your normal CRUD stuff.
Of course not, because there's more to be done.
Well, that's what you said.
I'm saying event sourcing itself. No, event sourcing itself gets easier where you're like, oh, I can do this now. I can roll this out easier than I could, 6 months ago. You get better at doing that. There is value in it down the road. You don't necessarily see the value as you're building it today, but give the thing you're building now 6 months to a year in production where you have actual users using it, and then they start asking you questions, and you have that data, and you're like, I am so happy I have this event source right now.
So the application I'm using it for now, I think, meets the low bar of needing event sourcing. But yeah, I definitely see event sourcing as being a very niche thing.
Yeah, I don't see it niche at all.
Yeah.
It's nice to know I'm not the only one who's wrong. But you know what every
one
application does need?
What is that?
Error handling.
This video is brought to you by Cloudways. We are all developers and love to write code, but managing the servers that code runs on can be a time-consuming and error-prone process. Cloudways helps you spend less time managing your servers and more time doing what you really want to do, coding. You only need one account to manage servers on multiple platforms and for multiple customers. Pick just the server size and location that makes the most sense for you and your customers. You can even estimate your costs for your server before spinning it up. Cloudways offers peace of mind and flexibility so you can focus on growing your business instead of dealing with server management. With Cloudways, you get an optimized stack, managed servers, backups, a staging environment, integrated Git, pre-configured Composer, 24/7 support, and a choice of 5 different cloud providers: Amazon Web Services, DigitalOcean, Linode, Google Cloud, and Vultr. Get a discount of 20% for 3 months using the code PHPARCH. Check them out today using our affiliate link at phparch.com/cloudways.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Cloudways.
Cloudways. Okay, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong?
Well, your lead-in
was not quite right. Little mixy matchy.
Cloudways is not error handling; it's server management. Matter of fact, it allows you to deploy across multiple cloud services effortlessly, without
It's
effort.
easier than saying effortlessly.
Yeah, you don't need AWS credentials and DigitalOcean credentials and your credit card there. You just go through Cloudways and you say, I want a server spun up on DigitalOcean and AWS, and you manage your server through Cloudways. But it doesn't do error handling, Tom.
But what does do error handling? Honeybadger.io.
Yes.
So, Tom,
thank you to both of our sponsors. We appreciate you both.
We do appreciate both of you. Yes. So, Tom, did you not watch Laracon Online?
I haven't gotten to it yet. I'm
His
very
first week
excited.
of work. He couldn't get away.
Yeah, I'm very excited to watch it though. The Livewire 3 stuff.
Oh my God, the Livewire 3 stuff. You're just serving it up for me now, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
So this is awesome. So Caleb hasn't released Livewire 3 yet. Normally it's one of those things of, hey, here's all the features of Livewire 3 and it's available to you today. And they didn't do that this year. And I thought it was very, very commendable of them. But he did say in his, now I was working during Laracon, so I am worried that I missed things or misunderstood things, but I will tell you how I heard things. In his presentation, he only called out one kind of big backwards breaking change. One thing that he considered to be a big backwards breaking change. He says, besides that, there really aren't any backwards breaking changes. And that one big thing, I forgot to even make a note of what the hell that was. I do remember thinking, well, shit, that's going to impact me. And now I need to go back through my code base. But
whoopsie.
So you've heard me go on and on about the tall stack, which is Laravel, tall, right? Tailwind, Alpine JS, Livewire, and Laravel, right? And Livewire and Alpine JS are both projects from Caleb. Now, Livewire 3 is going to have Alpine JS just baked into it. So it won't be a separate install. Like a minor thing that he did, but I thought this was like one of the good quality of life things is when you do your Livewire install, your composer require Livewire, you have to go into a blade, like your main blade template, and insert the Livewire script so that it pulls in all the Livewire stuff for you, all the JavaScripty stuff that it does. You won't need to do that moving forward, which I was a little confused on, because I'm like, okay, how's it going to know to inject Livewire and where to inject it? Like, I'm not really clear. So that's one of those things. Like, I feel like I missed something on that. But yeah, they said that you no longer have to include the Livewire script. It'll just automatically be injected, which, again, that sounds weird to me. But one of the really cool things they're doing, and of course, now thinking of an example is going to escape me, but Livewire now is leveraging annotations. So you can there are these predefined annotations you can use in Livewire to allow Livewire to enable additional kind of things, right? Like one of the one I can think of off the top of my head, this is a bad example, but you can now do inline JavaScript, like vanilla JavaScript within a Livewire component. And one of the ways you do that is by using this JavaScript annotation, and then you're able to use it. So that's going to be kind of cool. Let me see. I'm trying to remember what else there was. Oh, so one of the big things with Livewire 3, and again, this is all just the Livewire stuff. So the big complaint a lot of people had with Livewire were all the network calls it would make. So if you watch your console on a Livewire app, it's constantly making these network calls, like all these dynamic components where you're like having things update all over your page. They're all making these network calls. Now Livewire is going to bundle their network calls, so you'll see a lot fewer network calls. That's going to be cool.
I think that was a feature that you could sort of enable in Livewire previously. It was something you had to manage yourself. Was the delays and the batching of calls.
Okay. I don't. Well, you could always defer calls. Oh, you know what? I think that was the backwards breaking change. Now that I say that word, but you could always defer, like how frequently like a component would pull to kind of reduce that. Did you lose me?
Just your video.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
It's that fiber. Fiber's slow.
Yeah, it is
fiber.
unreliable.
I did make a note here saying that you can now have reactive properties, and I honestly can't remember what the hell that is, but it was a cool enough thing that I made a note of it. So yeah, that's the thing. Let me see what else to say. Defer. Oh yeah, there you go. Big breaking change. Defer on input fields are now the default. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, that's right. Yeah, defer on input fields. I used to defer all my input fields anyway, so that probably won't change my stuff. Besides that, there were some other kind of cool things. First thing, I have to applaud. It wasn't Taylor. It was another speaker whose name escapes me right now. But somebody had an entire presentation on community, which is like a big deal to me, and has been one of the criticisms I've had of laracons in the past. Of it seemed like the laracon was getting further and further away from community, and somebody put together an entire talk on community, how to onboard in the community, the things to look for, podcasts to listen to. No, we weren't one of them. Surprise.
I love that you can't remember the name of the guy who did the community talk.
I know, right? How terrible is that? And I can picture his face. Oh, was that the name? Kaneko?
Yeah, Kaneko did a talk called "The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Laravel Community."
There you go.
To Eric's point, he couldn't remember us, so we can't remember him.
That's fair.
That's right. One cool thing, as a matter of fact, after Laracon, I had to stop the project I was working on and do a composer upgrade because Taylor wasn't clear on whether this was a new feature in Laravel 10 or just something that had gotten introduced in Laravel 9 over the releases. So he does kind of address one of the things we've talked about on the show, of this concept of new features being released throughout the year. And he's kind of like, yeah, that's just how we're doing it now. So yeah, the whole thing is it's not meant to be backwards breaking changes or anything like that. So a lot of his talk, a lot of Taylor's talk was just talking about the things that had been already released. And then he made he started doing some live coding and made a reference to a new UUID trait. So if you listen to the show long enough, you know I'm a big fan of UUIDs. Kind of require them everywhere now, right? It's kind of like my standard. And I've always built my own UUID trait. For a long time, the limitation that I had was in my trait. I had to define what column in the database that trait was assigning the UUID for. So for the longest time, it was the ID, right? It was the primary ID. And I was actually just sharing this with John recently. I'd kind of had stopped doing that, and I created I now create another column for UUID specifically. And the reason why, and I've complained about this on the show in the past, is when you go to use third-party packages, it will make the assumption that your ID field is this incrementing number, is this integer, incrementing integer. And when you use UUIDs, that breaks things. And like I would, every time I included a package, and Spotty, they were at fault for this as much as anybody else. Every time I included a package, I always had to go in. I had to fork the package. I had to fix their little migration so that their IDs would recognize, the relationships would recognize that my IDs were UUIDs, and back and forth. But the cool thing about it is Taylor has now introduced a UUID trait. And the reason why that's cool, well, first thing, obviously he did a better job at it than I did, where it assumes that when you implement the trait, it's going to use a UUID for your primary key, your ID. But you can also define other fields to add UUID. So like the current project I'm working on, I have a database a table that has 4, 5 UUIDs in it. And with Taylor's new trait, UUID trait, that wouldn't be an issue at all. I can just say, hey, yeah, these 5 columns are UUIDs, and move on with it. This appears to be something that's coming out in Laravel 10, because, like I said, I did a composer upgrade and it's still not there. But the reason I say it's cool is because it's like the whole Apple thing, right? Nobody will buy into a technology until Apple blesses it and Apple releases some version of that technology. We talked about it with NFC and NFC, near field communication. The tap to pay was struggling, even though Google Android devices had tap to pay. Stores weren't embracing tap to pay because nobody cared. Apple does it, and then all of a sudden it's everywhere you go. Kind of I'm hoping it's kind of the same thing. Now that Taylor says, oh, hey, you want your ID to be a UUID? Here's the trait you use, boom, boom, everybody can embrace this. And I'm hoping package developers now start to consider, oh, I don't know what this person's using for an ID, so I'm just going to make this either something that's configurable, or I'll just make it a string. So if I don't care if it's a 1 digit or a complete 16-digit UUID. So I'm excited about that.
I hate that you're right.
Kind of made me feel weird. The other thing, kind of along that same line of community, this is nothing that we have to worry about. But historically, a lot of people have come to us and say, hey, I'm really interested in getting started with Laravel. And, our go-to has always been Laracast, right? Go to Laracast. Laracast has, honestly, I haven't been to Laracast in probably a couple years. I don't even know what they have anymore. I assume it's as good as it always was. but Taylor acknowledged, it's like, there used to be a quick start guide in Laravel back in the day, back in Laravel 4 days, 5 days. There was a quick start guide you can go through that kind of walked you through on, how to set up your application and stuff. And Laravel has gotten so big and documentation has gotten so big that they kind of, dropped that. Well, now they have bootcamp.laravel.com. So if somebody is coming to you saying, hey, where do I get started with Laravel? Send them to bootcamp.laravel.com. And that kind of gets them started with how to spin up the application, how to actually make an application, things like that. I feel like I'm running along.
I've been doing it wrong. I've been sending people to symphony.org.
So, man, I tell you what, like, I'm going to have to put up or shut up here at some point. One of the things we're talking about, John and I have been talking about with PHP Architect, is the website needs a refresh, right? I mean, it needs from front end to back end kind of a refresh. And I was thinking, like, we've been talking, I'm a big Laravel person, and I love using Laravel for clients and stuff because it's job security, with the as fast as it iterates and things like that. But I've really been considering, like, okay, for PHP Architect, maybe we'll just, do something in Symfony, like something with the LTS, and we don't have to worry about, patching it every week and things like that. Man, I see that Livewire 3 stuff. I'm like, oh, I don't know. It might be Laravel. Might be going to Laravel. I'm not sure yet.
There's not enough JavaScript stuff on there to need.
Well, that's part of the problem, right? And we need it. We need more dynamic stuff, right? I mean, we should be popping up notifications when people hit the website and there's a new magazine waiting for them. Don't get me started, John. Don't. We talked about Vapor in the past, and we used Vapor a little bit, kind of just kind of waiting to see how it worked and understand how to use it. Well, we had a really bad implementation for it. I mean, first thing, we were using it for like a WordPress site, which is not what it should be used for at all. It was just a bad don't think that, but that, to your point, Tom, using Lambda in AWS can get very expensive. I mean, there's just no two ways about it. I mean,
it wasn't really a point. It was more of an easy setup.
Yeah. But the cool thing about it is there's now a free tier on Vapor that you can use. Now, I didn't go there and try it out. I assume you still need to pay for your AWS credentials because it actually sets up on your AWS account. But the point being is you don't have to pay for a Vapor plan. There's like a free tier in Vapor now. You can spin up one project in Vapor, and that you kind of see all the tools and how to use it and how Vapor works. Again, you still have to pay your AWS bill, but that's nice little way to ease into Vapor if that's something you've been looking for. And I think that's Taylor announced he is doing Laracon in person next year. They're targeting March. So the conference he said that he was looking forward to going to and being in person in January is actually, I think he was talking about Laracon EU. It was the conference he was talking about. Then he says that Laravel US, or just Laracon. I don't think you say Laracon US, just Laracon is going to be in March. And he hasn't announced where or when or anything, but
so if you can only choose one conference next year, since it's not announced, you might as well come to PHP Tech.
Yeah, that's
we have at least announced.
Easy decision to make. Plus, I mean, Chicago.
I'm looking forward to Chicago.
It's gonna be so much fun.
Mm-hmm. There was a really, really good talk on database performance for application developers. That's another one, Tom. If you're going to go back through and look at talks, look at that one. That one was a lot better than I thought. Than I anticipated.
I have them pulled up here. Nice thing is the YouTube video. I mean, it's all free. Like, it's just up on YouTube. You can go grab it.
Right.
But it's also split up into chapters, so you can jump to whatever talk you want to go to real quick.
Oh, did they finally officially do that? I know some listener had done that in the comments. Did they actually do it for the whole?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we should put that in the Trello. I actually don't know if I have the Trello stuff in there. Yeah. I do have the laracon. Yeah, man. It was a good one. It was a good laracon. I liked the focus on community. I mean, that's just a kind of a thing of mine. So
it's been a complaint of yours in the past. So the fact that it's changed, like, we're willing to step up and admit when things have changed for the better.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't think I am.
Okay.
You know what a nice change for the better is that happened this week?
You got a job?
Well, aside from that, Ethereum, the cryptocurrency, is done with their proof of stake merge and no longer uses mining to generate new coins. So Ethereum, which was a huge energy consumer, went overnight to a 99.95% less energy consumption across the whole network. So that's a really good news. Video cards are now being massively expunged on the internet. You can get a nice cheap video card now again. And this is just, in general, this is just great. So
those people aren't just moving over to Bitcoin?
No, Bitcoin can't use GPUs. Bitcoin is basically ASIC miners only now. So if you don't know what ASIC is, it's an application-specific integrated chip or circuit. So it's just for Bitcoin mining. There's also some news in the WordPress world, which I don't normally cover, but this was a zero-day attack that exploited hundreds of thousands of WordPress websites, and I think that's funny. So
it's not.
Don't run WordPress. It's not funny. I mean, it's business for you guys. Some company has a WordPress site, gets attacked. They need someone to make them an actual real website. Diego Dev, we'll do it.
PHP architect, we'll do it.
And my favorite story of the week. This is actually an old story, but it popped up on the PHP Reddit this week, and I love it. It is the big list of naughty strings. Have you guys ever seen the big list of naughty strings?
Well, because I saw it on your board before we started, and I went and looked at it. They were so naughty. It
is tempting. Like the first thing you think when you like big list of naughty strings, like, all right, I got to see this. And it's just a large list of exploit-based strings that are often used for form submissions. It's just stuff that should never be in a submitted form, or you don't.
I don't even think it's that. It's also error handling in your own application. Can you handle Unicode characters properly?
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of both. It's not just like you shouldn't get these strings. It's, hey, if you get these strings, do you handle them properly?
Yeah. Yeah. So they recommend using this for automated and manual QA testing, which I love. I love the idea. Like, does your system crash because bad strings are being sent to it? And it's available it's available for PHP, C++, .NET, Node, and it's a nice little list.
I like when you look at it in GitHub, there's little triangles that says This line has hidden Unicode characters.
Yeah. Yeah, I like I like this a lot.
Don't just copy and paste. You might not get everything you think you're getting.
Yeah, it's got
Good stuff.
JavaScript injection handling. It's got database manipulation. Lots and lots of different things that you never want to have executed on your system.
iOS vulnerabilities. Strings which crashed iMessage in various versions of iOS. Interesting.
That was actually interesting. It was an unrecoverable crash too. Every time you reopened iMessages, it crashed again. That's all I got.
Ditto. That was a good show. I like that one.
We'd like to thank our Patreons for all their support.
Our patrons on Patreon.
Our Patreons on Patreon. I need to get that right at some point. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you, everyone, for helping keeping us going.
Do you still see that? Like
the shadows, yeah.
I don't see the shadows.
Look at Billy. You can see it right there. You'll see
Where's
Rodrigo.
Billy? Oh yeah.
If he stops moving his mouse, you see it even better.
Yeah. And Ben too, huh?
Yeah.
There's an R there in Ben. You know, I looked on Canva to see if I could see it there, and I didn't see it. Now I have a better idea of where it's at. Maybe I'll take another look.
It's so minor.
Yeah.
It was just fun to call you out last week on it.
I do appreciate that. Thank you, all of our Patreon supporters.
Thank you very much.
Gentlemen, I think
I just want to point out, quick shout out to our second ever Patreon supporter, Ryan, who recommended and got me my excellent new job. Very happy about it. And he's my coding buddy.
See Ryan on here.
Well, he's no longer on there, but he was our second Patreon ever.
Are you sure about that?
He seemed to be very sure about it.
I'm going to check.
Well, you can't claim to be that if you're not that any longer.
Yeah, right.
I gave it to him. It is.
I would look under
money right now. So
look under canceled. Is that what you're saying? Look under canceled ones. Let me see. So Buttery is obviously our first. October 5th, 2018. Buttery. So I'm going to. It's going to be tough because Frank. So Buttery was October 5th, 2018. Frank was October 25th, 2018. So he needed to slip in there within that 20-day period.
Believe he did.
Let's take a look, shall we? What'd you say his name was? Ralph?
Ryan.
I heard Ralph.
I know.
Yeah, I don't even see him. I had to be completely
honest. We're all
honest
waiting with bated breath.
Yeah, I'm not seeing him on here. So, yeah, I don't know where he's at. Is it RYAN?
Yes.
Let's go with R. There he is. September 10th, 2020. So
nowhere near a second.
No.
Nice try.
What did we say the first ones were?
2018, 2 years prior.
Oh, okay.
You might have re-signed up and then canceled again. You gotta look at the whole.
I did.
Is it event source? Can we go back and figure out how?
Did we just attack the guy who gave you a job, Tom?
Yeah.
I feel bad now.
Yeah,
but we just like to show how often you
only because he canceled. It's the only reason.
I'm just here to be wrong. That's the only reason I'm here now.
Tom's wrong.
This is the place where I get all my wrongness out for a week.
All right, that's it. I'm done. I have nothing else to say to you people. Thank you for hanging out with us. I appreciate it. I look forward to this every week. This is episode 303 of PHPUgly. I'm Eric.
I'm John.
I'm Tom.
Keep it ugly.
Keep it ugly.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Talk about paragliding
Coming off the
yesterday.
top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know, Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host name Thomas.
I think
'cause
Buttery
he's
should
never wrong. Yo,
always
shout to
be
John.
able to
You
title
know
the
that he's smart
show.
and quiet,
should
unlike
be
my
his
freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me.
Are we
Shouts
getting
out
new
to
stickers?
PHP, the ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional. But I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting. I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show
Probably.
is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up. Yeah. Come on. Hey.
How is the channel doing?
We almost had 600 followers. We had 600 followers approaching, which is not that big of a deal.
598.
Wow.
Oh, we lost one. We were up to 599 according to my little thing back here.
Well, that's what I get for being wrong, is losing followers.
That's because we didn't have a face on last week's post. Or last week's thumbnail.
That's true. Although it did better than thumbnail with your face on it.
Sure.
No, I think mine does the worst. Actually, my face does the worst.
No, your face did better than both of ours in the last.
You had 120 on episode 299.
What? 120. Yeah.
Look at you. I got my second.
Tom's
I
got
got
256.
I got my second longest flight at Little Black, the mountain by my house.
Saw
Yesterday.
that. 22 minutes.
Yeah, 21. But thanks. Always wrong.
Always wrong. Just by a little. Just by enough.
Yeah, my longest flight's 25, so the fact that I got 21 was great. It was the second flight of the day, so the first one was only 8 minutes. We land. One of the guys who's way more experienced than I am, I was like, "You going back up?" And he goes, "No, I don't think it's gonna be as good as that one," because he was up for like 12 to 15 minutes. I'm like, "I'm going back up," so we all went back up. I was the first to launch of the four of us. Flew for 21 minutes, and I was the last to land, which was just mind-boggling to me. In fact, I got a better flight than some of the more experienced people. Just got lucky in finding some lift.
I can't zoom into my. I can zoom in on everybody else's, but I can't zoom into mine. Shoot. Well, I guess I can't take my own picture.
What do you mean you can't zoom into yours? You've got
I
the little
can't.
zoom button on your
It's a
stream
zoom
deck. Don't you have the little like? Whoop,
Oh,
I'm gonna go.
I can. Yeah, I can zoom in. I can zoom in that way.
What?
Yeah,
the
I
stream?
can zoom.
On the stream deck, it's right there. Boop, 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 boop,
Well,
boop.
see,
On the stream
Well,
deck?
Yeah.
your stream deck doesn't do this.
I just haven't done it. What am I missing?
You're missing the button that says, "Hey, I want to zoom."
I want to zoom.
A zoom, a zoom, zoom, and a boom, boom.
I need bigger hair. I need my hair to get bigger.
You need to not do that at all.
I need my hair to go bigger. I'm going. All right, that'll work.
Where
Is
is
that coming out far enough? There you go.
I don't have anything on my Stream Deck that does a zoom.
If you're on Linux, I could tell you how to do it, but you're not, so tough luck.
Hey, I'm gonna have to do the. I'm just doing naughty strings. There were a lot of good title suggestions, but I think naughty strings is what I'm going to go with. Okay, I can't.
As you make yourself look creepy.
Horrifying.
Yeah, both John and I have been like tweaking out Stream Decks on Linux. So we have all sorts. I have all my Audacity stuff.
Is this a plugin that I don't have?
No, we can do it from the command line, and then just make a button a command line tool to zoom in.
So, Buttery, for the record, Buttery, this is the longest my hair has been in 30 years. Like, yeah, probably 30 years. Like before my kids were born. That's I started cutting off all my hair. I always kept my hair really short, and then life I ended up with like no hair and just kind of kept it no hair for the longest time. And I decided not to cut it for a while. It's been like 3 months now, 4 months. It's been a while. It's longer than it's been in a very long time. It's very interesting to see it when I wake up in the morning.
So you went for dreads?
That's what I told Beck. I'm growing dreads. Growing dreads. Yeah, I agree. Hair is overrated. I'll probably shave it all off again at some point.
Oh, that reminds me. Hair. That's funny. Earlier today, I took my kid to get a haircut. So he and I both got haircuts. And he's getting his haircut. And there's like 7 chairs in the place. And I'm sitting waiting for mine. And one of the nicest women doing hair in this place is right in front of me. And this little old guy sits down and tells her what he wants. I see her start cutting his hair, and then she goes to start the top, and she has the clippers, and he's like, looks at her, don't use that, use scissors, and like berating her almost. And she's like, oh, okay. Like she's Filipino and trying, there's a little bit of a language barrier. So she's like, you want scissors and you want it trimmed. So she like shows him on his hair, and I could tell there's some miscommunication happening, but he finally is like, that's fine. Like, whatever. She cuts his hair and then shows him in the mirror, and he looks up at her. Why did you do that to me? Like, he flips out. Like, who taught you how to, like, he's visibly angry, like, doesn't know what to do, puts his head in his hands, and he's like, keeps yelling at her about how she cut his hair. He finally like stands up and like goes to the mirror, and he's like looking at his hair. Another guy tries to help, comes over and is trying to talk to him, and he's like, did you see what she did to me? And he's like, I'm sorry, I was with my client, I didn't see what it was before. And he looks at him, then why are you getting involved? Like, he's berating this guy. And I'm like, holy shit. I finally feel like I have to say something. I'm like, man, let's calm down a little bit. She made a mistake. It's just hair. Like, let's calm down. I was like, there's obviously miscommunication. And he says something back to me. I'm like, I saw her like put her hair on your head, and you said, okay, like it was a mistake. She's already told him he doesn't have to pay. He sits back down, finally calms down, and like doesn't. And I see her looking like, okay, you sat back down. What am I supposed to do? Like, he just kind of sat there. It's like, you want me? Yeah, fix it. This guy was a piece of work. Of course, he got finished and got up and left, and it obviously didn't pay. So
you're much nicer than I am.
That let me work with the boys of, people are going to make mistakes. One, you have to realize it's just hair. It's going to grow back. it's it wasn't. He so overreacted. It's okay to tell them you're not happy with what they did and you're not going to pay for it. But to berate them the way he was berating somebody is not okay. We don't treat people like that. John's storytelling of the night. I'm glad I waited till after the podcast was over because that was long and boring.
Yeah, and I don't have the applause button on the stream deck as I used to. I can't make it clap for the stories.
You should probably put that back on there. I could use that sometimes.
Boy.
I've been unhappy with, like, a cut or two ago, my kids, I wasn't happy with, but I didn't go off on the hairstylist. Like, okay, I miscommunicated or they weren't that good. The next time we went, I'm like, no, we're going to wait for this person over here. Like, we didn't use that same person again because I didn't like how he cut their hair.
My last haircut was really bad. And I did the classic Tom move, which is to say nothing and then complain to everybody who I met for the next month. 3 months. I didn't get another haircut for 3 months after that.
It's okay to tell them you didn't like it. I give you permission to say, I'm not really happy with this.
It was my fault. Because
that's different.
She said, do you want a number 2 on the sides? And I said, yeah, I always get a number 2 on the sides. And she goes, it's pretty short. It's like my hair. And she pointed at her hair and she had the worst haircut I'd ever seen. So I went, no, much longer than that. And then I got what I asked for.
I was like, no, that looks horrible.
Yeah.
Jesus.
No, absolutely. I recoiled in response to her saying, like my hair. And I went, no, I don't want anything like your hair. Can you make it longer? Can you can I get extensions?
I guess I can understand that. I never got too upset about hair because it was like, yes, what you have, like it'll grow back. Like it's not
until it doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I know. Yeah, I can't blame somebody, I guess, for getting too upset about it, but I don't know. I never put a lot of value in hair.
It was more the way he talked to her in front of everybody. My kids are watching this guy just melt down. And it's like, calm down.
Yeah, it's definitely not something I understand. People freaking out in public at all. I'm already embarrassed enough by how I have to be in public. I couldn't imagine drawing attention to myself.
How are you going to handle going to work things? Because you got to do that monthly now, don't you?
Or tech. How are you going to handle going to tech?
So I've been working on a technique called not thinking about it, which has been working out really well so far.
Until John brought it up.
Yeah, hoping to push it as far as I can. It's not every month. I don't have to go in every month. I just have to go in every couple months. October is my first time going in, October 23rd, something like that. It's for a whole week.
So you need some tech material, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Where's it at?
San Jose.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, so I'll be right up there by your children's.
I'm a kid, yeah.
Yes, I am very, very excited to go do that. Terrified, but excited. Nice balance of how I handle things.
I'm not editing shit tonight. My freaking... Am I frozen on y'all's end?
No.
Nope, not at all.
Everything's frozen on mine. I can't click anything. This is horrible.
been having that happen more and more lately with my machine.
Check
man.
your SSD health.
I've got 64 gigs of RAM. It's always out of RAM. Constantly running out of memory. Out of memory, how to kill this. Out of memory, how to kill that. And it's like, how are you running out of memory?
Yeah, what are you running out of memory on? Like,
Well,
what is?
I'm running VirtualBox, Chrome, Rocket League sometimes, and then just everything else that's running. Oh, PHP Storm. So if I have a few projects in PHP Storm, if I have VirtualBox running because I was doing something, and then start up Rocket League, forget it. It's done.
All right, I need to hard reboot here. I got to start editing. I'm not trying to be up all night, so I'm dropping. You guys take it easy.
I gotta go.
Good night, everybody.